So we're going to continue on with writing algebraic expressions as part 2. Just wanted to make sure we covered the vocab the right way. So there's some vocabulary terms, and the first vocabulary term is simply terms. And a term it's the easiest to see when you go ahead and look at it. Like, for example, if I have this 3b plus 7, what I'm looking for is what things are separated by a addition or subtraction sign. So I have here 3b, and then I have plus 7. So the terms for this are literally 3b is one term, and then 7 or plus 7 is another term. Let's look at that again. I'm going to go ahead and do this a couple more times here. If I have here, let's see here, 5x plus 7x minus 12. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for how many things are separated by addition or subtraction signs. So there's going to be 3 terms here. The first term is going to be 5x. Second term is going to be 7x. And the third term is going to be negative 12. We're just going to go ahead and keep the signs with them. Really, it's only important when you have subtraction. So 5x, so it's positive 5x, positive 7x, and then negative 12. So one more here, if we have the following, let's see here. Okay. In this case here, once again, we have 3 terms because we have them separated by addition or subtraction signs. So the first term is going to be 5x. Second term is going to be 1/3 x. The third term is going to be negative 7. So that's what terms are. They're pretty easy to identify. That's just the rules. Okay, so now we have a new vocabulary term. It's called coefficients. And coefficients are simply the number that is in front of a variable. So if we look here, we look over here, for this expression here, 15r plus 7. What's the variable? R. 7 is a constant, so the variable part is the 15r. What's the number in front of r? That's 15, so the coefficient is just 15. For this one here, we've got 3 terms because 6x minus 2x plus 6. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look and see what the coefficients are. So the first coefficient is going to be 6. The second coefficient is we treat it like a term and we have that negative go along with it, so it's going to be negative 2 is going to be the other coefficient. Now the part that gets a little bit tricky, let's say if I have b plus 7 minus 3b. Okay, if I look at this, every time I have a variable, I have to have a coefficient. And there's no number in front here. There is a number in front here, so my number in front there, the second one is going to be negative 3. But for that first one, there's no number in front of it, but it's 1b. I could put the number 1 in front there, and it would be the same. So the coefficient technically is just 1. And that's something a lot of people forget when they're writing down coefficients of numbers. So the last vocabulary term I want to deal with are something called constants. Now constants are the numbers that aren't variables, aren't associated with variables, so they don't change. And in this case here, for this long expression here, we have 13x minus 5 plus 7. That means I'm going to have 3 terms. I'm going to have the 13x, I'm going to have the minus 5, I'm going to associate that negative with it, and the 7. The constants are the numbers that don't have a variable associated with them, so the constants are just going to be negative 5 and 7. Down here at the bottom, again, if I were to list the terms here, 5 minus 2 plus 7c, the terms are going to be 5 minus 2 and then 7c. And again, I'm going to look here and say, okay, well, what are constants that don't have a variable associated with them? In that case here, it's just this. So let's put this all together. If I were to break down this expression into terms, it would be 15c, 6c, 5, and negative 3. Don't forget that negative goes with it because it's subtraction. Now, if I wanted to go ahead and look at the coefficients, I'd say, okay, well, they're just 15 and 6. If I wanted to look at the constants, they're going to be 5 and negative 3. So that's the terminology. Just make sure to get this down because it's going to be important for a long time all the way through algebra.